Good morning, students. Today we are going to start with wheel and axle. Many of our everyday actions involve turning something. This could be a tap, a doorknob, a screwdriver, or steering wheel of a car. In each case, the actual object which needs to be turned is usually a thin rod, and the common practice is to fix a wider handle or knob or wheel to the rod so that we can turn it with small effort. Such an arrangement is called wheel and axle arrangement. So this is also wheel and axle arrangement. We rotate the screw driver, and this helps in driving the screw inside. Same way, the steering of a car has a rod on which the wheel is fixed, and that arrangement is called wheel and axle arrangement. And the thin rod which needs to be turned is called the axle, and the wider object fixed to the axle on which we apply effort, and that wider handle which is fixed to the axle and we apply effort on it is called the wheel. And in many cases the wheel is not actually circular in shape. For example, the handle of a bicycle. The handle of bicycle is also an example of the wheel and axle arrangement, but here the wheel is not round. So it's not necessary that in wheel and axle arrangement, wheel is always going to be round. And a little thought will convince you that the spanner used to tighten or loosen the bolts act like a wheel, though it looks like a lever. So spanner, which helps to tighten or loosen the nuts, is also an example of wheel and axle arrangement. And in the examples we have discussed, a small effort is applied on the wheel and it can produce much larger force on the axle. We apply only very little force or effort on the wheel, and a lot of work is done by the axle. And the wheel and axle arrangement can also be used to magnify movement. So wheel and axle arrangement helps in multiplying movement. In vehicles, for example, the effort that turns the axle produces a larger movement of the wheel. So here the example is that the effort that turns the axle, it produces much larger movement of the wheel. Now, pulley. A pulley is a wheel or disc which can rotate freely about its axle. And a string or a rope passing over the pulley fits into a slight depression along its rim, and one end of the string is attached to the load, and the effort is applied at the other end. You all must have seen this wheel is fixed on the wells over which the rope is run, and to one end of the rope we tie the bucket and we apply effort at the other end of the rope. That is a pulley, actually, that round wheel on which the rope runs. And what we do, we apply effort at one end and the work is done at the other end, or the resistance is overcome at the other end. And the advantage is that the point at which the effort is applied and the direction in which it is applied can be made convenient. And the advantage of pulley is that the direction of the effort and the movement which takes place means in the direction in which the movement takes place can be made convenient with the help of pulley. Remember that a pulley merely changes the direction in which the force has to be applied. It does not magnify the force. The pulley just changes the direction of the force applied. If you say it increases the effort or the force applied, no. Means the force applied does not get multiplied by the pulley, only the direction of the force applied changes. And the common example of the use of pulley is on top of well. If you look inside the engine of a motor car, you will see 3 pulleys connected by a rubber belt. So if you see the engine of a car, you will find 3 pulleys. They are connected to each other by a rubber belt. And the toothed wheel, the wheels have tooth on them, of a bicycle with a chain passing over them also works like a system of pulleys. Strings used to draw curtains or blind pass over pulleys. Even the strings which are used to draw the curtains and the blinds also pass over the pulley. And cranes used to lift heavy objects also have pulleys. Cranes also have pulleys to lift the heavy objects. So this much for today.